So here's chapter 5 of MYP5 Unit 1. We've been revising the rules of powers or indices, and we're looking now at how to combine all those rules in order to evaluate complicated index expressions. So for example, 125 to the power of minus 2/3, what we can do is break down the minus 2/3 into a third times minus 2, and then we can use the rule that if you've got one power raised to another power, that's the same as multiplying the powers. So because a third times minus 2 is minus 2/3, then 125 to the minus 2/3 is the same as 125 to the third to the power of minus 2. I've kind of used the rule backwards there. In all of the examples so far, we've started with a power raised to another power, and we've written that then as a single power. But I'm kind of going the other way now, starting with a single power and then splitting it up into something times something, so that I can write it as something raised to a power to another power. So 125 to the power of a third is the same as the cube root of 125. So I can write that as the cube root of 125 to the power of minus 2. And the cube root of 125 is just 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 makes 125. So that's the same as 5 to the power of minus 2. Now remember, when you see a minus power, it's not a minus number, it means 1 over the corresponding positive power. So that's the same as 1 over 5 squared, or 1 over 25. So here are some questions. Pause the video, have a go at the questions. So here are the answers. I hope you pause the video. 1,000 to the power of 5 over 3, I can split up as 1,000 to the power of a third to the power of 5, because a third times 5 makes 5 over 3. And then power of a third is just cube root, so that's the cube root of 1,000 to the power of 5. And the cube root of 1,000 is easy, because it's just 10. 10 times 10 times 10 makes 1,000. So that's 10 to the power of 5, which is just 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, 100,000. Okay, so the next one was 0.49 to the power of minus a half. So power of minus a half is the same as 1 over the corresponding positive power. So that's the same as 1 over 0.49 to the power of a half. And then power of a half just means the square root of something. So that's 1 over the square root of 0.49. Well, that's something we can do in our heads, because we know that 7 times 7 makes 49. So it's a small step from that to figure out without a calculator that 0.7 times 0.7 makes 0.49. So the square root of 0.49 is 0.7. So that's the same as 1 over 0.7. So that's the answer, but it's a bit of a mess because it's a mixture of a fraction and a decimal. So I'll multiply top and bottom by 10 to turn that into 10 over 7. And then it's still top heavy, so I'll write that as a mixed number, 1 3/7. So 0.49 to the power of minus a half is the same as 1 3/7, and you can easily evaluate that without a calculator. Okay then, 256 to the power of 3/4. Again, I'm going to split it up into 256 to the power of a quarter raised to the power of 3. Power of quarter means the fourth root of something, so the number that multiplied by itself and then again makes 256. So that's 4, because 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 makes 256. So that's the same as 4 to the power of 3, and 4 to the power of 3 is just 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64.